I'm sorry if the thumbnail traumatized anybody. That is the nun photoshopped over Gore's face, if you could even tell a difference, because they look so similar. I was thinking that whenever I was watching the movie, and I was so creeped out. I was like, this is a Disney movie. How is this a Disney movie? So a complaint a lot of people have about this movie is that it's too funny. Why wouldn't Taka Waititi, whatever his name is, why wouldn't he make this movie funny is what I say, or just as funny as he can, because that's what everybody praised Thor Ragnarok for the most part was. It's a nice, refreshing take on Thor because it is so funny. And so yeah, if it worked there, then why isn't he gonna just, do that here, but 10 times harder? Now I will say 85-90% of the jokes do land. For me, like, a lot of the shit with Thor and Mjolnir, and Stormbreaker, the whole love triangle there that they set up, like Negan and his bat in The Walking Dead, if anybody's watched that, is what it reminds me of. I really enjoyed that. I thought a lot of that shit was funny.
Come on in.
Hey, there you are. Hey, I was just calling you.
The screaming goats with the boat, I just, a lot of stuff in here, the comedy worked. And that is thanks to Chris Hemsworth, too, for his delivery of a lot of these lines. Everybody said it before, but the guy was meant to do comedy. He does it great. So yeah, 85%, 90% of the jokes worked for me. At times when they didn't, though, like Jane Foster having cancer, for instance. They're cracking jokes about that, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess some people do, do that with cancer to make it more lighthearted, but it just feels a little bit, not the time. Or, whenever they're in a big battle with Gore and shit's about to go down, shit's serious, and Thor literally tells him, like, hey, your breath stinks, pretty much. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that could have been cut. I'm not going to disagree with anybody who thinks it's too funny. I think a part of it is the fact that Gore as a villain is just so creepy looking, for one. And then just such a compelling story. And yeah, just such a good dark villain. Literally, the whole realm he comes from. I know people have talked about this is darker, without color, and then our characters have the color, so it's literally a contrast in color itself, but then also in tone. I think the problem with it is they do comedy so well, and then the not comedy stuff so well, but there's really no in-between place for that stuff to exist, and I think they could have blended that stuff throughout a little bit better. So Jane Foster's arc in here, everybody was worried that Jane Foster was going to take over as the new Thor. I personally don't want to say I called it, but I was never really worried about that happening. I just, Marvel's done some dumb shit lately, but they haven't done that level of dumb shit, So, I did like her arc overall in the movie, and it's not annoying in any kind of way like people were expecting. I don't want to give too much spoilers away, but that's just broadly what I can say about it. Guardians were in the movie, kind of. It makes the ending of Endgame feel kind of pointless whenever they team up, just for them to be in 20 minutes of the movie. While they were in it, it was enjoyable, but it was just barely there, I think, as most people expected. I don't know, that might have been because of what happened with the Guardians movie getting pushed back. Maybe they wanted to do something different and they quite couldn't. I don't know, but it is what it is. They were in here for a little bit, which was nice. Well, as we get returning characters, I don't think it's a spoiler to say, Lady Sif is in here, way too little again, but yeah, she is in here. I would love to see her kind of take over Valkyrie's place personally, because I know it's a pretty common thing now to hate on Valkyrie, but yeah, I would just like to see Lady Sif be more of a member of the team. I don't know why she isn't. And then we get Darcy and Dr. Selvig, which is nice to see them back because, nostalgia. And then also a nice little legacy character that I never knew we had, but we do have. Heimdall has a kid, so that's cool. So the music in this movie is great. Obviously, it's pretty much a Guardians of the Galaxy movie in that sense, because that was Guardians of the Galaxy thing, having music, because that's Peter Quill's thing, right? But now Thor's taking it over, which is fine. A lot of these scenes, I was like, yeah, just, bobbing my head. I felt like I was watching a music video or something, Love it. Something about rock songs and Thor going to town on villains just really goes well together. And that, along with the whole style of the movie, you know, the Viking space gods, I'm just kind of a sucker for. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. There are some convenient things that happen in the plot, you know, or just aren't explained or break the plot in certain ways. But, you know, that happens with every movie. It doesn't quite make it excusable here, but, you know, it's just kind of what it is at this point. So I do like where this movie ends up, and it takes Thor. It's kind of a twist from where we thought that they were going. I think it has a lot of potential. I just hope that they take time to develop it more. Overall, for this movie, how I would say, compared to how aimless the MCU has felt as of late and just kind of fizzled out, understandably, after something as big as Endgame. You know, nothing's ever going to be come back as big as that. You know, it's just not, I don't think, possible to do again. At least this made it fun. You know, I had a lot of fun with this movie. So I originally put this movie at an 8 out of 10, but I'm going in after the fact and editing it to a 9 out of 10 because the more I thought on it, you know, it was paced very well, structured very well. They have narrations and flashbacks and things throughout the movie to help you understand, make the story more simple. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to give a spoiler for this part. So spoiler warning 1, 2, 3. The whole ending with Thor getting the daughter was actually set up throughout very well. If you look at the overall plot of the movie, you know, the themes of children in there. Thor's doing this to rescue the Asgardian kids from Gore, as well as Gore's, you know, doing all of this because he lost his daughter. And then the song, you know, it was in the trailers and in the movie Sweet Child of Mine. So yeah, they set up all of that very nicely and made that an ongoing theme. Once you sit back and look at it and you've seen the end, you're like, oh, okay, well, all that, yeah, ties in very well. I just hope that they give Thor and his daughter time to develop together and don't just do like what they did with the Guardians in this movie. Like in the next movie, they're just like, Thor's kind of there for a little bit and then it's up to his daughter to do whatever for the rest of the movie. You know, I think it would be super fun and great for some great scenes to see them interact together. I mean, it already kind of did for the ending of the movie. So yeah, it kind of serves to set up Chris Hemsworth's exit as well as we have with many of the other Avengers at this point. Not that I think Chris Hemsworth wants to leave anytime soon, but whenever the time comes, it is there and set up now, which is nice. And then as well as the post-credit scenes add to the movie as well. They weren't just kind of either pointless or they ruined the movie. I think they only add to the movie. Of course, seeing the ending with Jane Foster, getting into Valhalla with Heimdall, which was nice. So Thor has the hope of seeing her again one day, as well as the setup and the tease for a villain for a future coming movie with Hercules. So yeah, that's good, because a lot of MCU post-credit scenes can, like I said, either ruin the movie, the one from Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness, in my opinion, did. Not the one with Sam Raimi, the one with the blonde chick, whatever. And yeah, so these only elevated the movie. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see you in the next one.